Okay. Okay. Good evening. You're welcome to today's class. So we will continue from where we stopped last class. We shall conclude the material today. So conclude the material today. If you remember, we have started with preparation of financial statements. So we're able to solve one question, and we are on the second question before we have timeout. So today we complete that question, then I'll solve one more question so that we can move to the next topic. So, class, we start question two. And the question two is that we are required to prepare the income statement and a statement of financial position. There are two things that we are required to prepare. And we are able to address information. And remember, I told you in the last class as well that there are two ways in which you use to prepare your financial statement. The first one is that what start. The first one is the information. Once you are done with additional information, then you start to post into your financial statement. Or you start to post into your financial statement, you post the one item that does not require adjustment. Then after that, what do? You now start you now adjust, you start with your firstly, you open your financial position, you open your financial performance, the item, because you have read through the question, you know the item that does not require adjustments. So you post them. Then after you now move to the one that require adjustments. So after you have adjusted it, then you post. Then you do your work. Then you do your computation. You do your addition and your subtraction. So today we are able so we are going to conclude this like I said earlier. So we're going to prepare the profit or loss for the year, and what is the period that we are for? And year ended 34 December 2010. So we have this to be profit or loss account for the year ended 31st December 2010. And like I said, please, if you have any question, please use the chat button. When you send any question on the chat button, and I know that there's a question, I will surely answer your question. Okay, I gave this an assignment. I didn't get any feedback from the students, but let's continue. So now, if you put down here, this is the admission that we have. Now, if you use these workings to actually adjust or address additional information, you are good to go. But this another one as well is what you see format. Anyone that works for you. In ICANN, you will not be penalized for using this method. Or then will you be for using this method. But this method is like a little time consuming. But what you have mastered over time before the exam or is what you expect to use, please. So, but this format is a little bit time consuming, and if you are not careful, you might not know that you're expected to put this account here and that account there. But this one is straight up. It's just mathematical aspect, just addition, subtraction, addition, subtraction, addition, subtraction. But this is a little bit technical because you need to know the figure that will hit your profit and loss account and one that will hit your financial position. Okay. So now let's go back to our trial balance. Let's go back to our trial balance. So from our trial balance, we pick. Because we solved it last week, I will do a little recap on this, on additional information. I'll do a little additional information. So additional information, the stock at December 2010 was valued at 31,800. And we said that the double entry for that is the one is going to go to the statement of profit or loss account, while the other one is going to go to statement of financial position. Then another one that we have there is the accrued expenses at 31st 12 2010, where salary is 18 and what? And electricity to be 18 naira. And we said we have done the adjustment as well. The adjustment is that the salary figures in the trial balance, we are going to add that 1A to it. The salary figures in trial balance shows the one that at double entry have been done, their cash have been paid for. But the second one, the additional information means that we have not paid for it, but we have enjoyed this. So the total salary that we have incurred over the time would not be the one in trial balance plus this figure. So the figure that we're going to show under our statement of profit or loss account is going to be the trial balance figure plus the additional information figure. That's what going to be under our statement of profit or loss account. But the one that's going to be under our statement of financial position is going to be the one in additional information, which is 1,800 under accrued salary, which is current liability item. The same principle also applies to the electricity. And we also prepaid expenses. Expenses that what we have paid a particular amount of a particular transaction, but we are here to enjoy that transaction to the fullest. That what we call prepaid expenses. So we pay in advance. And this means that the amount that in trial balance shows the actual amount of money that we have paid for. But we need the like I said, statement of profit or loss account is only show for the year end. So it means that any transaction, any income and expense that is displayed on your statement of profit and loss account will be the one for that year. It will be the one for the next year. So this one means that we need to reduce the figure on our trial balance. So that's it. Once we reduce the figure on trial balance, then that figure will now be the one that's going to take to the our statement of profit or loss account. Then we have adjustment provision for bad debt as well. We adjusted that as an increase. As we go further in class, we're going to say under a question that talk about decrease so that we can see how we treat it if there's decrease in provision for discount allow or increase. So also we have commission due but yet to be received. So a commission, which means the total one that is inside trial balance is the amount that we have received. But the one that what the commission that we have earned, but is the totality of the one that we have received plus the one that we are going to receive. Then we have what charges as well, depreciation charges, systematic way of allocating what assets to cost, matching concept. Then we have revenue received as well in advance. Revenue received in advance at 34th amounted to what 420. As well as one that we have received what in advance. So we have that, so we have to what remove it. We have enjoyed rent received, but we have not rendered the service for them. So we need to reduce that rent received in advance. So we need to reduce it. So we have done that. I'm also reading this so that when you start picking our challenge, we will know the one that have adjusting or additional information so that we are going to go back to our working. In the examination, once I'm done with my workings, I'll just start posting. So I'll go back to my trial balance. I'll okay, what is my first item on trial balance? Over time, if you practice over time, you know where and where you expect to. Also, structure your statement. So you need to practice very well. You need to practice nothing less than 10 questions before you on each topic before you enter your exam center. And because each question have their own different principles they are testing. So over time, you'll be able to understand the principles and you'll be good to go in your examination. So the first one we have in our balance is purchases. A purchase is an item that is statement of the law accounts. And that purchase is also can be found under the word on left hand side, debit, like use it for as in this class, I'm going to show you how to use particular format. So now let's see. So because we know that there's all the opening stock, we know our format. Our format will start with opening stock. So let's have opening stock. And we know that the next one is what is purchase. We are going to add the purchases. What is the figure for purchases? So I'm going to pick my question so that we have save time and be direct. I believe you also have question and with you. So the last purchases is 308,400. Now that we have our purchases, no, it should not be on this column. Pardon. It should be on this column. That's 368, 400. Now that we have that, the next one on our trial balance is sales. The next one that we so say on the other side, so we put sales. Exam, if you say revenue, please, it's the same. Oh, don't be say this man, this teacher did not teach us. So please, revenue, sales, they are what? They are the same. Okay, so we have that. What is that? That's 17, 517, 900. So what next do we have on our chart balance? We have drawings. We have drawings. Do we have any additional information on drawings? Okay, yes. Additional information 8 says goods costing 1,200 we are taken by what? By the owners for private use. They are taken by the owner for private. I know that drawings is what? Is a way of taking out capital. That's what for you are taking out goods, you are taking out resources for personal consumption. So it means that you are taking out of your profit or your capital in what? Before the end of the period. So we come down and okay, the position. So this one will be as at, so this one will be as at 31st December. The 1st December and 10. So that gives us at 1st December 2010. So let's continue that. So we're going to put our drawings. Now format, we have capital. That's our capital. After our capital, we have net profit or loss. So we have our net profit or loss. So it depends on the one that is given to us. Then after that, we have our drawings. So we can put our drawings there. Can just put our drawings. And what is figure for our drawings? The figure for our drawings is from the trial balance, we have it to be 14,100. But based on the additional information, there was 1,200 have not been counted. We had that 1,200 to our work. Can you see our working stand here? Can you see that here? That there is that drawing is 14,100. 100 plus 4,200 of what? Or 15,300. That's additional information always done. They have two legs. There's double entry. You have to do your double entry. Everything must balance. So if our first leg go to our drawings, our second leg will now go to our statement of profit or loss account under cost of sales to reduce the total goods available for sales. So we need to reduce the total goods that is available for sales. So now, trial balance. If you look at what we did last class under our T format, that's what we did. We took one to the drawings account and the second leg went to the cost of sales. So now let's do that. So we take that out. So other here we have our drawings. Our drawings to be based on the information into us. Our drawing is 15,300. 15,300. Then we have to do the second leg so that we won't forget. Okay, so that we won't forget that maybe you have treated it. So once we are done with that, you can come back here in your examination. You can just take it out that yes, you have used it. So I can mark on. Let me just say red. Then afterwards, I've utilized that. If I want the identity for it, I'll just take that yes, I've done that so that I won't come back and I'll put less what? I'll less my drawings additional information. So I'll let my drawings from my stock, and my drawings from the stock is 1,200. My drawings is what? 1,200. But in case it won't convince you, so that it won't serve as a conviction, you can give it another name. You can give it another name, okay? You can give it, say, goods taking, okay? Or pedestal, you can also put it join. So let's just put it by owner, shoulder of the business. So we have it to be 1, 2. So we move on. The next one that we have is return inward. We have return inward, and I say that return inward is, it means that we have made sales before. Now they are returning goods to us. So it means that the sales that we have actually made is not the actual sales. We need to reduce the sales by what? By the value of the item that be returned back to the company. So what do? We only want to reduce it, so we put it under sales, and we have return inwards. Once we have the return inwards, what is the figure for return inwards given to us? 7,300. Remember, we are reducing it, so we put it in bracket. 7,000 what? 7,300. I put it like that, so I'm good to go. So I move to the next one on my trial balance. The next one I have on my trial balance is a return outward. So what is a return outward? It means that goods are what? That are purchased, but I'm returning it back, maybe to one reason or the other. It does mean that what? The goods that are available for sales is no longer be available for sales. Are you with me? It means that what? That such goods have been returned back to the vendor. So we come back here and put a return outward. Return outward. We are reducing it. Return outward. Now, what are we reducing this to be returned? Well, okay, let's put it in brackets because we are reducing it. Let's put that in brackets. So return outward. What is the return outward? 6,200. So we put it in brackets. 6,200. So we have what? We have done that. Then the next thing for us to now what? Now move on. And then what do we have? We have discount allowed. Discount allowed is an expenses. Is an expenses. Discount allowed. It means that the total amount of money that you expect to receive on your sales is no longer that amount of money that you receive, because you have allowed them to enjoy some reasonable amount of discount. So in the example, you'll be happy to say, okay, which stage do you live? Did I live 1 space or 2 space? You can leave what? You can just count it and try as well as, okay, let's look at the worst can happen is what? Adding maybe like 3 or 4 items there. So you can just leave like 5. If you know that you expect to leave like 3, if you count it here, we have 1. Okay, we know that, okay, when we sum it, we're going to have a figure here. When we sum it, we're going to have a closing stock here. When we sum it, we're going to have a gross profit here. We're going to have the total here. So I can start my expense from here. But for people award, I can give it space, or you can even give 2 space. Is what is allowed in exam. Can even what? Give it 2 space. Just press 2 space for it to what? To be given. So now that we have that, the next thing for us to now put our discount allowed. We now put our discount allowed. So now what do we put our discount allowed? Okay. So remember what they're putting there is what is the expenses. We are putting here expenses. Expenses. We have our discount allowed. Okay, in third question, I will show you another format. So you pick the one that is best or that is okay by you. So we have discount allowed. What is figure for discount allowed that we have? We have that to be 10,200. So we have that to be 10,200. The expenses. We have that to be 10,200. The next one also that we have is what? We have discount received. So discount received is an income. So we come back here and put what discount received is an income. It is a gain that what we have enjoyed the discount. We enjoy discount for us to pay a particular amount of money, but we're able to reduce the money, and that's 8,400. The other one that we have is what we have the debtors. The debtors also is what trade receivable, and the debtors or trade receivable can be found under the statement of financial position. It can be found under the statement of financial position. And where can you find it under the statement of financial position? It can be found under the current assets. So we have this to be non-current assets. So let's name it non-current assets. non-current assets. After that, so we come down here. Okay, let's give it space. Okay, let's give, okay. So because I've read through the question, then I can guess the space I can leave for my non-current assets. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's leave 7. Okay, let's start our what? We start our current asset here. So we are good to go on current assets. Now that we have our current assets, so we now, okay, what is our what? Debtors. We have our debtors. Like I said, another name for your debtors is trade receivables. We have our debtors. So what is our debtors that we have? So we have that. What is the amount of the debtors? The amount of the debtors given to us is 45,000. 45,000. So I'm putting it under the first column of the NERA, which is 45,000. Then I'll remember there are some transactions that is associated to these debtors. Example is what? Provision for bad debt. Example, provision for doubtful debt or allowance for doubtful debt. Also, provision or allowance for discount allowed. Discount allowed. These are the items that can affect my debtors, and I'm expected to show it under my financial position. So what did I do? I will leave a space for that because I know I have it in my question. So I will leave 2 space, or better still to save time, I can come back to my workings. Okay, that my workings. My workings is that, where is it? Let's see, additional workings 5. Can you see here? Additional from working 5 says that my provision is going to be what? 900. My provision is going to be 900. That's the provision for bad debt. It's going to be 900. Okay, if that's the case, then I can come back to my statement and I say the provision for food debt. I'll say provision for that food debt. That will be 900. So I'm lessening it. So I'm going to use it to reduce that. So I have that to be what? To be 900. Once I have that, now that's okay. What are the other associated what? Cost. That is what I need to reduce debtors with. Another one is what? Is provision for discount allowed. Come back to workings. What is the provision for discount allowed? My provision for discount allowed is 441. So I come back here to my statement of function. I put provision for discount allowed. I put that there. So, okay, let's put this like this. Let's put W. So that will give me a total sum of 441, if I'm correct. 441, right? Yeah, 441. So I'm as well. So then, since I've done for me to be on the safer side, I'll just do the second leg straight up. Now, what is the second leg? The second leg is what? Is one that's going to affect my statement of financial, statement of profit or loss. That's statement of financial performance. So I'll come back to my statement of financial performance. I'm okay, fine. There are 2 things. I've done 2 things. Some statement of is 441. My provision of that food there is 900. So I go to my and ask the question. Have we for that food debt? We should look at what balance. I'll look at the trial. Look at your trial balance. Let's see. Do we have provision for that here? See anyone? Here we have over debt. Debt is what? Is 200. And now they say that at the end of the day, the provision by now is 900. They have increased by what? By 700. It means they have increased it by 700. So I can come back to my financial position and I put what? And I type provision for bad debt 700. I also type in provision for discount allowed 441. Or we can what? Or we can use the method that let's say the method that we use on that team format so that we will get it clearer. So under the team format, let's see, is it? Can you see what I'm talking about here? On this part, we have this, so uh, uh, we have three accounts that actually relate to that. We have the debt account, we have the provision for that and doubtful debt, and we have provision for discounts allowed. So the third is we can either usually on the statement of financial performance, or you can write everything down to your bad debt account. So it's the balance from your bad debt account that will now be reflected in your statement of financial performance. So in the additional information, what we did in the last class is that we brought the second leg of the provision for bad and doubtful debt and provision for discount allowed. We brought it under the bad, we have the bad. So it means that we have here, which is for profit or loss account 1541, can now be written down to the statement of financial performance. That's profit or loss account. So we come back here. So to do the same for profit, we come back here and we put bad debt. So we put bad debt, and what is the figure for bad debt? So the figure for bad debt is that we go down, provide the balancing figure. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah. It's 151,541. 1,541. So that's 1,541. So it means that we have posted the double entry for that additional information. Because to the one I've used, I'll come back here and I liked it. I've used the second leg. Okay, I'll come back also and like it also. I'm done with this also. I've done the double entry by what? By reflecting it under my my bad debt, under my statement of financial performance. At the same time, also under my what? Debtors, to reduce my debtors under the statement of financial position. So I mark it red. It means the other items are what have not been used. So I'll go back to my trial balance. What is my trial balance? The next thing I have my trial balance after debtors is creditors. And then another name for creditors is what? Is trade payables. And that can be found under current liability, which is under statement of financial position. So I come back here and I put current liability. I type in current liability. So I have that. So I put my creditors. I put as my vendors who are owing money. As my vendors, I'm owing them. I'll put them that's 57,100. No, there's no additional information on that. So I'm good to go. I'll move on. What I have on is what? I have stock. That stock in the trial balance given to you is the opening stock. Stock in the trial balance is most of the time is what is the opening stock. Is what is the opening stock. So they gave us the what? The stock for that. So what will I do? I count that as current asset. Like I said, two legs. No, sorry, opening stock. You're gonna find it under the statement of financial performance. So let's go on. So statement of financial performance, we have it to opening stock. So what is the figure for opening stock that we have there? We have it to be 34,300. We have to be 34,300. Now that we have it to 34,300 and we have posted it, move to the next one on trial balance. What next do we have on trial balance? We have what we call the what? The freehold premises at cost. Freehold premises at cost. This is an asset. A premises is an asset. It's what? Not just an asset, but it is a non-current asset, because it's an asset that will span for what? For a reasonable number of years, and the economic benefits will flow to the company. We flow to the company. So we put it under net current asset. We call it, okay, I think, okay, let's eradicate this. Okay, so let's call it freehold premises. What is the cost? So the first what we have here is cost. The first thing is cost. So we're going to put it cost. What is the cost that we have in our trial balance? 46,000. So we have it 46,000. So the next one that we have is what? Motor vehicle. Motor is what? Is an asset. Motor vehicle also is an asset. So we put motor vehicle. Motor vehicle. What is the cost for the motor vehicle as well? 12,000. Can you see? I'm putting the cost here. Cost. Okay, so we have the 12,000. And that one we have furniture. Furniture also is what? Is an example of non-current asset. Example of non-current assets. So what is the figure for non-current furniture? We have 25 from our trial balance. So once we are done with that, then we now move to the next one, our trial balance, which is provision for depreciation on motor vehicle. Now, this provision also, I said that it is allowance. Is allowance for what? Or accumulated depreciation for motor vehicle. It means that at the beginning of the period, the depreciation that the total depreciation on that motor vehicle is 4,500. That's 4,500. But for this year, they have added to it. At the beginning of the year, it was 445. But for this 2010, we have enjoyed the service as well. So it means that we need to depreciate it. So we need to add the accumulated depreciation to the year depreciation, because it's that figure that we are now going to use to reduce we are going to add together, then put under the accumulated depreciation. We look at our information here. Let's look at our additional information here. Can you see these workings? So we have our depreciation for motor vehicle for the year is what? It's 1,200. That's for the year, 1,200. But the one that we have on the accumulated depreciation is 45. So it now be 1,200 plus 45. That is what we're going to put under our statement of financial position. We're going to put under our statement of financial position. Now, look at it for us. Let's look at to explain data. Under our T format, if you look at here, you see it here. Now we have it to be here depreciation account. So this is one to go to our profit or loss account, the one for the year, which is 1,200 that I showed earlier on. Provision for depreciation, the total is what? Is 5,700. Well, it's okay, 5,700. It is 5,700 that will reflect in our what? In our statement of financial position. So we come back here, statement of financial position, and we put that to our 5,700. Once we have done that, then the second leg is for what? Is for us to account for the depreciation for the year. So that to the statement of profit or loss account. So let's come here and put depreciation. So let's put depreciation. Depreciation. Okay. Now the depreciation is what? We have two based on national information given to us. We have on motor vehicle. We have it on motor vehicle. Okay. We have it on what again? So we have it on motor vehicle, and also we have it on furniture. Furniture, then furniture. So the leg is now what for us to do this. So we have 1, 2 for additional information. That's for the year. If we look at this, is it here? This is it here. That's about this. To use this, so we can put it on red. Can put it on red. So because we are on depreciation, we can just decided to do all the depreciation at once. So for the second leg is what? We now look at, do we have any other accumulated depreciation? Yes. We have depreciation for what? For furniture, and that's 1,000 naira. Then we have the one for the year is what? Is 500. So the 1,000 plus 500 will give us 1,500. So we have this 1,500. Then it means that what? Our second leg for depreciation, we go to our statement of profit or loss account, and that will be what? 500. So once we have done with that, we move forward. We have cash at bank. Cash at bank is an item that can be found under the statement of financial position under the current asset, under the current asset. So we have cash. So, okay. So we have cash at bank. What is the cash at bank figure? We have cash at bank to be, let's see, 5,000. No additional information. We have that to be 5,000. After that, we have what? We have cash in hand. And what is the value for cash in hand? We have value for cash in hand to be 1,900. Another one that we have is what? We have salaries. Yeah, salaries and expenses. But we now ask ourselves, have we make any adjustment on salaries? So we go to our workings. Okay, yes, we have salary. So it means that on this working, it means that this 4,000 for the 2,400 is going to be with the one that we're going to eat our profit or loss account. Why 1,800 will be the one to what? To eat our statement of financial position. That's accrued salary. Now, if you are using T format will show you straight. There's no need for you to see that. If you are using this T format, you have your salary account. The balancing figure, which you go to POL, is for the 2,400. So you just pick this figure and post it under the statement of profit or loss account. Or also accrued salary as well is what is the current liability. You look at the balance carried down. What is the balance carried down? Is 1,800, or the balance brought down. But at the end, though, 1,800. So it's 1,800 that's going to show under what? Under our statement of financial position. So either workings that you do, either these or these, you are good to. So let's continue. So on our account, we are going to use for the 2,400. So let's go to our profit loss account. So the total salary is salary for the 2,400. So we have it to be salary. So we have the expense is what for the 2,400. Now the second leg is what? Is the accrued. So let's do the accrued. So if you come here, you put accrued salary. Is what? Accrued salary. It means that the salary that we are owing, that we are yet to pay, that's 1,800. That's 1,800. So we go to our next trial balance. What do we have in our next trial balance? We have carriage inward. Carriage inward now is the what? Carriage inward, it means that the cost that you incur to bring the goods that you purchase down to where it is needed. And that is what, according to IAS 2, it will be added to our purchase cost of the inventory. So that's one of the reasons why we are going to find it under the what? Under the purchases before we arrive at our cost of goods sold. Before we arrive at our cost of goods sold. So let's do that. So we have that to be carried inward. What is the figure for our carried inward? The figure for our carried inward based on the question given to us is 22,200. We have 22,200. So we are good to go on that. Now, we now ask, okay, what is the next one we have? We have carriage outward. Carriage outward is an expense. Is what is the cost that we incur to carry goods from our warehouse down to where? Down to our customer place or for distribution purposes. That's carriage outward. So we have our carriage outward here. Our carriage outward. We have that to be what? To be 10,300. So it's an expense. We have it to be 10,300. Then later on, we move to our what? Our printing and stationaries. Printing and stationaries. What is it for printing and stationaries? So any additional information on that? So we look at the additional information. There's no additional information on that, if I'm correct. There's no additional information on that. So we have it. So we'll type it here, printing. stationaries. So we have our printing and stationaries. So what do we have on printing and stationaries? That's 3,600. 3,600. So after that, what else do we have? We have electricity, water. Yes, there's what? There's an adjustment on that. You see, that's the beauty. That's why I love to start with what? With adjustment. Because once we have the adjustment, it registers at the back of your mind what and what has been adjusted, what and what has been adjusted. So if you look at our workings here, so we're done with salary. So let's say this, we're done with salary. So that's right. They're done with it. So we have electricity. At this 14,900, 14,980 will be the one that is going to reflect on our statement of profit or loss account. Why this 80 here is that one that we are owing, that we are here to pay. We have enjoyed the lights, the electricity, but we are here to pay for that amount is 80. So it means that the 80 is going to go under our current liability, while 14,980 is going to go under our what? Our expense. So we have the time is being passed. Okay, so we have that to be what? 14,900. So we have 14,900, 980 rather, 980. So our statement. So we have accrued electricity. And that was 80. We have that 80. So we got the next one we have on trial is insurance. So we have insurance. Insurance is an expense. Do you have any additional information on insurance? So we come back here. Okay, electricity, we have used it here on insurance. What is additional information? It means it's prepaid. We have paid for something, but we have not enjoyed for it. So that 400, this 400 here is what? Is like is prepaid, insurance is prepaid. Why 6,400 is the total amount of money that we what that will be reflected in our profit or loss account. Have this to be what? Insurance. So let's go down. Insurance. So insurance. What is the amount for insurance? That the amount on insurance on our trial balance is 6,800. So 6,800 minus 400, that's 6,400. So the second leg, which is the what? The adjustment that we have made on insurance will be reflected here under what? Under our current asset as insurance prepaid, which is 400. So we have that to be 400. Next one that we have is general expenses. Expenses. So yes, there's additional information on general expenses. And what is the additional information on general expenses as well? Is paid. We look at your additional information 3. The same thing applies to the insurance, applies to the general expenses. We come back our expenses, so the general expenses. General expenses. The figure here is 300. So 1,300. So let's put that 4,300. 4,300. 100. So here we have it to be general expenses prepaid. To be what? 500. 500. So if that's the case, 500, so we can come back here and align this to be what? To be read. So once we align to be read, we know that what? Okay, we have used this as well. We have used this. So let's make it the read. So we are left with commission and rent as additional information. So the one that we have next is what? Is provision of bad debt. We have treated that bad debt written off. We have treated that. Next we have is capital. So capital is what? Is under equity. What is the figure for capital? The figure for capital is 70,000 naira. That's what we have for capital. So once we have that, so we move on to what? Rent received. There's an adjustment for rent received. The total amount of money received is at 8,000. have not rendered for the total value of 420. Since they have not rendered the total value of 420, we mean that what? This is revenue on end. It means that what? You have not earned it. It's on end income. You have that is a rent receipt, what amount of rent for my information. The what is 3,380. So 3,380. Okay, so we have that. So after that, what do we have? So on our trial balance, so let's do the second entry. The second entry will now be the accrued, what is rent on end. So we have what the rent on end, because they have not rendered the service, but you have collected the money, and the rent on end is 420. So you look at this here. Okay, this is what rent we have done with rent. So we put the balance is the one line that we have on the actual balance is commission received, and there's an adjustment for that. Commission received, the total amount of money that we have received is 11,200, but the total amount of money that we are expected, that we are ought to have received, is 12,000, because 800 naira, they have not paid us the 800 naira of our commission. So the total commission for that generated for that 10 is 12,000. So we have that. So we have commission received. Commission received, which is what? The total amount of money to 12,000. Now that we have that, then we can now what? Proceed. We proceed to what? To computation. No, the second leg as well. We have to do the second leg. And is what you have earned, but they are yet to pay you. It means what? That's commission earned. Commission earned. Commission earned. And what is the commission earned? Is 800. 800. They have not received it. It's 800. Now, once we have done with that, the next is to now start our calculator. Yes, just for us to now start our calculator. So let's press our calculator. Let's start with stop plus purchases plus opening stock plus purchases plus carriage inward will give us a total sum of what? Okay, so that will give us a total sum of 424. Please you can press the calculator to confirm it. So in case I'm wrong, you know what? You know the correct answer. So that's what. And this available is what? Is cost of goods. Cost of goods available. Okay. For sales. That's before adjustment. Now that there's a return inward. Oh, there's one item that we have not done up. We have that's our first. Our closing stock is very important. That's our first additional information. Closing stock. And what is our closing stock figure? Our closing stock is a total of 31,800. 31,800. That's 31,000. So the second leg will come under our current asset. So we have this to be what? To be our stock, or let's call inventory. So, and that's 31,800. So 31,800. So let's go back here. So this okay. So after we have this, so we do 424,900. That's the total goods that we have. but that's not the one that is sales. Because we are now consume part of it, return there, we return some as well. So we need to, once we less that one for it, it's going to give us 14417. That's 400,500. That's 417,500. So that's this figure. This figure that we have here is what we know as what the cost of goods available for sales. Now let's less. If we less this from it, the closing stock away from it will give us the total sum of what? So we press the calculator, it will give you a total sum of 385,700. So this is what? This is the cost of goods sold. This one is what we call cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. Now that we have our cost of goods sold, we now look at our debit side and our credit side. So if you look at our sales here minus return inward, we give us the total sum of what? We give us the total sum of 510,600. That is what it's going to give us. They give us 1,500. Now this figure that we have, cost of goods sold, is lesser than this figure. So for us to get our gross profit will now be the difference between the 510,600 and 395,000. That gives us 124,900. So let me give a space. Okay. So we have that. Now that we have that, let's go to that so that it can give us our total amount. So addition of these two give us 510,600. And this 510,600 is the balancing figure of the other side. So we put there. So let's put this. Okay. So let's close this up. Have this figure, yes. Okay, let's copy this down. Oh, a lot to do today. So we have that there. Okay, let's put this as well. We have, so the next thing for us now to bring down our gross profit. So bringing our gross profit brought down. So we bring our gross profit down, it now be what? 124,900. So the next thing is now for us to press calculator and add up. So pressing calculator now, expenses here. If you press the calculator, all your total expenses, so okay, so let's up together. That give us a sum of next my calculator. 680 minus 2,325. So you give a total sum of, so I'll just write it somewhere because we are going to delete it. 125,421. So you give you 125,421. That's what they're going to give you. But next thing for us now, let's add this side together. If we add this side together, this side is going to give us a total sum of 1,048,680. 680. So if this is going to give 148,680 and 25,421, it means will not be our net profit. What is it? It has 28,259. And if that's the case, then now that let's put that figure. We are to go. So it means that is 108,000. have to. So now that we are done with that, we need what our financial our net profit. What our net profit is 23 or 23,250. And net profit 23,259. And if that is, then we start with, let's start with left hand side. 17,000 naira, 70,000 plus this figure, a sum of 789, 93,259. Now, this is drawings. If we are going to use it to reduce their total equity. So, if we reduce our total equity, then we have these to be, if we reduce these, it will give us a total of 17,959. That's the total equity. So we move to, okay, so current liability, let's add the current liability together. If we add the current liability together, it will give us a total sum of what? If I add it together, it will give us 57,100, 842. I'll give a total sum of that's 59,400. Now 59,400, that's the figure given to us. So addition of this figure with the total figure that we have here, this is not decimal. We give us a total of 7,959. That gives us 137,359. So we can close it. So let's see. The total figure of is 137,359. So now that we have that, we do to the left hand side, the frequency, the no depreciation rate is so it was 46,000. So we have the vehicle is this. But vehicle that 12,000 and 25 plus 15 give us a total of 1,000. Addition of these three figures together will give us the total value, the net value of non-current assets, and that was 53,300. Once we have this, we move to what next one, which is our current. Now, under our current assets, we need to get our debtors. Our debtors now 100 minus 441, and that will give us a total sum of 8,659. Trade receivables. So once we have this, the next thing for us to now add all our current assets together. So addition of all our current assets together will be, that's for the 3,659 plus 5,000 plus 19 plus 400 plus 500 plus 800 plus 3,100, and is 59. Now it's 4,059 plus 53,300. We give the total value of what? 137,359, which is the same thing with that we have on the debit side. So it means that our account balance and we are good to go. So that's what we expect to do. So this is the standard way of solving equation because of our always your question in your chat. Okay, we chat. Now I make a little adjustment on theory. The on question theory is that so far is there's always an increase in provision for bad debt. What if there's an decrease? What and what? How do we account for it? So question 3 will help us to resolve that. So the following trial balance was extracted from books of Gabe at close of business on 28th February. The close business on 28th of February. They gave us a trial balance that contains balancing of each ledger. It contains the balance of each ledger. Now, then we now have additional information. Now, the first thing I did, or I'll tell you what, about here, I put okay additional information. Okay, I'm good. So the first one is inventory, 28,204, 2,400. I know one leg goes to the cost of sales, another leg goes to the current liability. If you need to show as well as let's see. But in my boundary, why I'm anything on inventory. So let's see. So we have inventory. So for inventory, what do? You debit your current when the second leg will not be the credit your cost of sales. Then this one is found under the financial. This one is found under the financial performance. So that is salary accrued. Normally, when we know the way we calculate our wages, if you don't know, this and that opportunity for you to know, what we do is we pick the figure from wages and salaries. Wages and salaries, we pick the figure from the balance. Then we pick another second level from where? From our additional information. So now let's look at this. So to save time, I'll not be screen on that. So let me get my question ready. Okay, so I have my question ready. Okay, so I have this, my workings. So I'm going to stay on my workings. I'm going to stay on my workings. Okay. So my wages and salary. So I'm working on wages and salary. Salary. So am I working on wages and salary? My amount for my trial balance given to me for my trial balance is 1,100 trial balance. So I need to increase it. I've not paid. What I've paid is what, but the one that I've not paid is what for. I have not paid. Then how to get the amount of salary that I expect? I take that. I'm good to go. So if I want to show it on my put wages and salary, wages and salaries. So on my wages and salary here, my salary is an expense account, so it have a balance. Go down. My balance border is what 31,400. So I have an increase. So I have accrued. My accrued is what? My accrued is 340. So I accrued. So now I need to open an accrued account here. So I open an accrued account. So I accrued and salaries. So since there's no figure, there's no previous figure, so I don't have what opening figure. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to put it second here, wages and salary expenses. Okay, now I think I'm going to shorten this. So I'm going to, okay, so we have that to be what, 340. So we are good to go 340. So we are done the double entry for that. Then in following additional information that we have is what rent prepaid at 28 hours. So we rent prepaid. It means that what we have paid or 230, 230. So rent prepaid of 230. So if I want to do my workings here, like I do say, if you are these workings, I prefer it for under exam purpose. So it's safe time, very it's safe time, and you are good to be good to go with a short period of time. So we had that 1,400. Now prepaid it means that what we have not enjoyed the service. We have so minus 200. Now if we do minus 230, it's going to give us a total sum of one. That's 1,170. So we are good on that. So for us to now record it under. First, we call it under our format. So we click on this and put our rent there. So we have our rent account. Once we have our rent account, we have what an rent account is an expense. We have balance what? So we have that to be 3,400. Now 3,400, but we have not what? We have not used. We have not just part of it. So what do? We come back here. We have done enjoy part of it. We come back here. So we put let's see. So we reduce it because I said rent prepaid. This is the total money amount I've paid 3,400. But prepaid, the one that we have paid in advance of 100. So which means that this 3,400 is owing some amount of money that's not meant for that 215 the year, the accounting year that we're paying. So we need to reduce it. So we come here and put prepaid. How much is the prepaid? 230. So we come back here and put prepaid account here. So we name this one. So we name this prepaid. Let's call it prepaid rent. So let's call it prepaid rent. So we are good to go prepaid rent. So if we credit this place, then it means that we're going to debit this place. So we pay debit to expense, right? Expense account. So that's 230. So the next one we have van running cost. And this van running cost, please don't mix it up with what? With van. No. Van running cost and expense. It's not what? It's not an asset. Is that what is an expense? So van cost. That mini what's called cost, running cost. So we have that. So the one given to us from the question is what? We have from the trial balance, we have it to be 615. We have to be 615. But its additional information says that vanning cost we are owing is a total sum of what? 72. So which means the total cost will now be what? 687. Now if you move forward, we have another to be what? To be decrease in allowance for doubtful debt by what? 91,000. Now this is what I want to explain mainly in this caution, which is what? Okay, let's continue. So we have that. Okay, let me show format for van running cost. So we have this to be van running cost. So we have an expense. So we have balance border. We have balance border. And what is the balance border for expense? We have it to be 6,615 rather 615, and we had it up to it accrued because they are owing. And what is the money they are owing that they have not paid for at the end of the year is on this. So you have accrued figure here, accrued figure. So we're going to have accrued van. We're going to have accrued van. So if we are debiting this one, we're going to credit this one. So we have van of what? The amount is 72 naira. Now, based on that, now that we are done with that, the next thing for us now to do is to do the next information, which says that increase decrease the allowance for doubtful debt, decrease the allowance for doubtful debt. If the question I sent earlier might have increase, so I edited it to actually show the second one. So we have decrease. What I'm watching, so I have decrease the allowance for doubtful debt by what? By 91. So we are decreasing the allowance of doubtful debt by 91. So, and what is the initial one? The initial figure given to us is what? The initial figures provision for doubtful debt is 405. So our can be provision decrease in provision for bad doubtful debt. And that will give us a total sum of. So we have that to be what? The amount given to us in the question is 405. So because we are it's a decrease, you put minus. And the minus will now be minus what? 91. And that gives us a what? Now, if you want to do it on our T format, so do it on our T format, we have it here to provision for. So do we have bad debt written off? So we have bad debt written off. So we have to open our bad debt written off as well. So we have our bad debt written off. We have bad debt. So what do we have here? So we have our bad debt written off. Okay. Okay, let's just put bad debt there. Let's put that bad debt. So we have so for bad debt. What is the balancing figure for portion of bad debt? So we have it balanced. We have balance carried down. And the figure total figure of 405. So the for bad debt as well, we have balance as well. We have balance burden. That's what that balance burden will not be what will not be what is the amount for that 730. So we have that to be 730. So now is a decrease. So a decrease is valuable. So it has to be what on the other side because we are decreasing it. So it will be reduced on the other side. So what do you so you put what you put what's called the second leg bad debt because there is the account that is going to receive it bad debt to be what should be 91. On the bad debt we are going to what credit it. So you are going to credit it with provision. And that is 91. So that we close it up. So how do we close it? So we have this 91, this 405. So this so 405 minus 91 will be our balance. So we have balance carried down to not be 405 minus 91 will give us 4. Fraction of these two will give us 405. It means that this also will 5. We have closed, we are closing the account. So for our bad debt now, our debt will not be sell our what's called head because an S, so you begin to pay. That's 730 minus 1. That gives 639. 639. So the close is here to be 730. The close here to be 730. Now this first method, if you look at another material, you might not actually see it. They might if the provision, the reduction is not taken to the bad debt, but is being displayed on the statement of financial performance, it will be on the credit side like an income decrease. That's what I want to point out there. Okay, so when we are solving it, I will show you again. So let's close this one. So this one is a salary, is an expense. So let's close this. So that will be total sum of what? 31,740. That's 31,740 naira. So it close it up to be 31,740. 31,740. This one where this one up as well. Let's say balance carry down because it must continue until we pay it, until we close it. So we have balanced that. So we cannot put balance, brought down of what 340. So for the following figure that we're going to have, this one is an expense account. So we have profit or loss account to balance it up. So the balancing figure is the one I'm going to write to profit or loss account. That's 3,000. That rent is 3,000. So addition of 3,170 will give us total of 3,400. So we have this to be 3,400. The rent will not be, we balance it, so we have balance, carry down to be 230. After that, so we close it up, so it are close up. So the next one is to have to put balance, brought down, and that'll be what 230. So now let's do this. Then this one is profit or loss account. So it's written now down to profit or loss account. 615 plus 72, it will give us 687. Now, if that's the case, so with this one will not be 687. I see that this one it takes time. 687, but what works for you? Please, what works for you? Use it in the exam. Saving time is very important. For what you use, what you practice with before you enter the exam, or is what you should use in the exam. Or so we have balance carry down here to be 72. So close it. I've closed that. So we have closed that. So the next thing for us is now to start posting. Now the example 1, example 2 that I've done, I went through my trial balance, then I start picking neat figure one after the other from the trial balance. But in case you are a little bit confused there, this time around now, I will not prepare. I will first of all prepare my statement of financial performance before I prepare my statement of financial position. So you look at the one that is workable for you, that is good for you. So now let's go to our statement of profit loss account. Now what we are preparing as at what? As at 28th February. So we are preparing for the year ended 28 February. What year? 2015. So that's what we are preparing. So now for me to prepare, I know opening stock. I know my opening stock. And what is my opening stock? So I will look for it. I will now start looking for it on my opening stock. I'll look for it on my trial balance. So let's see if we have it on my trial balance. Okay, let's see. Question 3. Okay, opening stock. Okay, yes, I have it as inventory 1st March 2014. So that's my what? That's my opening inventory. So after I have found it there, so I'll put the figure. What is the figure saying? The figure is saying that 4,120. So I'll put 4,120 here. In the exam, I will not tick it. I'll do a small tick, either at the figure side or at the word side. It means that I've used this figure. I'll tick it. Once I'm done ticking, I'll go. Okay. Next thing I know I need is I need my purchases. So I'll come to my purchases. Okay. And I need my purchases. So what is my purchases? I'll go to my trial balance. That's 92,800. 92,800. I know I'll take that off as well. I'll take it off. I know I've used that as well. So I know that again and that way I need my carriage inward. Do they give me anything like carriage inward? No, not like carriage inward. Is there any drawings? Because the owner take any stock out for personal use? No. So if there's none, then I will not add this up. I will add this up. So if I add this up together, the figure there will give me my cost of sales. So that will be 96,920. I know I've added it up. So I'll call it what? Cost of goods available for sales. Of course, of goods available for sales. After that, I know that the next thing for me to what? To now return to less my closing stock. So what is my closing stock? I'll go to my traditional information. If I can't find it in my trial balance, in fact, you won't even try and find it in trial balance. It's additional information. You now go to additional information and ask, okay, where is my closing stock? Okay, I'll see my closing stock. And that's okay, closing stock. What are we? What is the figure given to the closing stock is 2,400. So I'll put what in jacket. Assuming I put less closing stock, I won't put jacket there. But because I didn't put closing stock, I just put closing stock and put jacket. Just jacket. Jacket. So jacket a or bracket rather. Bracket jacket is all the same. In accounting terms, read. So anyone that is workable for you, that you know that you understand, you are good to go. So we and bracket or okay, bracket actually means reduction. It means that what is minus that figure should be what to remove from the figure ahead. So we have that to be 94,000. We have if it's going to give 925. That's the figure given to you. So I know that this is actually my what my cost of goods sold. Then I need to check for me to know my gross profit. I need to check it against my what my I need to check it against my sales. So I'll come back here and put sales. What is my sales or my revenue given to me? My sales given to me is what for my trial balance. The fourth item is 157,165. So I have that. I asked the question, where is the return inward? If there's no return inward, then I know I'm good. So then I know that okay, my sales is 157. My cost, the cost I incur to what to achieve that sales, but direct cost is what 4,520. So for me to get my gross profit, I'll now say okay, 1,157,165, which is sales, minus cost of sale, which is 94,520. We now give my gross profit. So I'll press my gross profit here. Profit. So I have my gross profit. So my gross profit is what is subtraction, like I said earlier. And if I subtract it, that'll give me a total of what 62,000, 62,000, 62,000, 645, 645. So addition of these two, they will give me what? The addition of these two will give me a total sum of 157. So it gives us what 157,165 naira. So that's what it's going to give us. So then this is what is the balancing figure for that. So we come back here and put the figure here as well to show that yes, that account have been closed. So in the exam is what you draw double line. Okay. Now let's continue. Okay. Alt O P. Okay. So now we have that. So I now have this. So then for me to continue, I need to bring gross profit. So come here and put gross profit down. I need to bring on my so every item I have picked on my trial balance, I will be picking it. On my additional information, if I've used it once, I'll put one. If I use it twice, I'll put another one. It means that what I've used it for 2 times. So but now I put one there. After my closing stock number, I'll just put a small slash one. It means what there's still a need for my second leg. So I'll do that. So I'll do this to be balanced. Carry down. Go down, down. And what is the figure? The figure is 62,645. So after that, I'll now okay. What are the expenses? I need to reduce my expenses for my what? I need to reduce my expenses for my gross profit so that I can get my net profit. and ask, okay, what are the expenses that I have? Two ways I evolve. In order for me to be on the safer side, I can start with my what? My additional information. And now, okay, what are the adjustments I've made on my information? I'll start from there. Okay, I'll come here. Inventory. For this one, I've been done. I've done this one. So this one I'm talking about, you just tick it, just like a tick. A tick. Just a tick you work. A tick. That well, you have used that. So this one is your wages and salary. Okay, it means that what the total amount of money that you're going to use is 31,470. I'll put a tick there. It means that what I'm just use just once. So I'll come back. I'll come salaries. I'll put salaries. I'll put salaries. I'll put wages. 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 I'll look at the additional information given to me that I've solved. I'll look at my workings and I put that to be what? 31,740. After I put that to be 31,740, I'll look at what additional information, which is about my expenses as well. What other one do I have? I have rent. Okay. Now, so again, I'll put a slash. It means that what? That's the rent I want to use. So I'll come back here and put rent. So when I come back here, I'll put the rent there, and with my rent, some additional information, that's 3,170. So I've done that. So I'll go back again. Okay, what are the other expenses I've adjusted for? Van running cost. I've adjusted for that as well. So I'll put another slash. I'll put another slash there. That's once. It means I've used it for once. So I'll come back here and put van running cost. Van running cost. Van running cost. What is the amount for van running cost? I'll put the figure to be 687. 687. After that, I'll look at the additional information again. What else have I solved? I'll decrease in provision. Now this decrease is two ways because I'm about to use it. So I'll put a slash there. So what I want this is this. If there's no bad debt. I want to show you this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have it here. Provision. I have it like decrease. Provision for bad debt. Then I'll have the figure there. That is if there's no bad debt. If I want to show you, we have two methods of training it. We have number one, either you put it under your debt or you show it on your wall, on your faces of your profit or loss account. So now, if you are showing it on your faces of profit or loss account, this is how you're going to show it. But because you show it on it's under our debt. Bad debt. So bad debt. Bad debt. Okay. We use that you did it here. So you can do that here as well. I just do the second leg for that. Just do the second leg for that. So but yeah, bad debt. Bad debt because what is the total figure given to us before? The total figure that we have is 730. So we have 730. 730 minus is the decrease in 91. 91 gives us 730 plus 91. It was 69. That's 69. So when we have 69, it means that to use. So you can put just put the slash there. Here, but 639. So 639. So any other additional information that we have not used, so you scan through it. If there's any, yes, additional information. There are things of within calculator where it's not station. we have delivery, we have delivery. We have functions So that we can what later you can create and treat two or past question together. Okay. Okay. So thank you for your time. I would like to wish you a lovely night rest now. Please do enjoy your night. Thank you.